Yes, I will do your bidding. It has pockets. Hey, I'm Mackenzie Jameson, and if you look back at my videos, you'll see that props and costumes are pretty much my obsession outside of acting, and I especially love this coat. It was used in the last video that I did where I made this short about a rogue running through the forest. It's not only my favorite LARP coat, despite only getting to play the character I made it for, like, I think twice. It's actually the third patchwork coat I've made out of 4, and I've only ever made 4 because they take a lot of work. We're talking over 100 hours and weeks collecting the right scraps of material, and I design each coat to not only fit the person's personal body shape, but the character or their personality if it's just for them personally. And the choices of fabric that I decide to use, like, all ties into the character of the coat. I mean, the coat practically has its own name and backstory by the time I'm done with it. And I tend not to want to sew for about 3 months despite enjoying the whole process of making these coats. It's just a lot of work. So I never commission these coats, and they are always made out of love. But come closer, I want to show you what I did with this one. All right. I actually put it on my sewing dummy so you can get a better look. So yeah, as you can see, it is made up of all kinds of little squares of fabric. And if I turn it around, big old long hood. Most of the fabric came from pillowcases. That's one of my tricks, is I go and find a bunch of pillows for real cheap. Some of these pieces came from other costumes that I made, though, that were also pretty much thrifted. Oh, this came from downtown LA, though. That was definitely from the scraps. This whole panel, I cheated a little bit. This was a whole pillow that was already patchwork, so that was fun. The big idea behind how the construction happens with these patchwork coats is that you will want to make big old wide panels of patchwork. This example is for the coat that I made for my wife. Make up your mock-up, you test it, then you lay your pattern. If it all works out, you lay your pattern piece on pieces of patchwork that you've made. So if you want to get a diamond look to the patchwork coat, like all the patchwork pieces are diamond shape, you're going to want to make those panels a bit wider so that you can actually turn your pattern piece so that it lays in a way that when you cut it out, the pattern is sitting on it diagonally. So you get this diamond shape to your patchwork. The lining is made out of cotton because I always want it to breathe and wash easy. Oh, look, as you can see, it has pockets. So many pockets. So many pockets. I always make these pockets at least big enough to hold item tags. I think we got, what, 2 pockets, 3 pockets on this side. And then, like, yeah, 3 pockets on this side. Or 4 pockets on that side, so lots of stuff. Once upon a time, I made this coat for somebody who ran games. They needed to be able to put an iPad in their coat somehow, so I made them a padded iPad pocket inside the coat. This was pre-made, and I got it downtown LA, and I kind of wish that I did something a little more sturdy here. I might replace that one day. Speaking of things that could use improvements, I want to share with you, and that is under here. See this rip? The reason why this happens, and especially if you're making LARP costumes, because, you know, you're active in sword fighting and stuff like that. So you see this right here, this is a gusset, and I thought I patterned the gusset out to give me enough room, and it didn't quite give me enough room, even though I did do a mock-up of this. But I do plan to rip this out and make a whole new gusset under there. There, see, you can see it happening here too. So it just needs a little wider gusset. Going up each of the sleeves here, there are, hold on, it's a little hard to get to from here, but yeah, you're wondering what these are for. Well, So these were for putting foam LARP daggers up my sleeves, for throwing daggers up my sleeves, or if I wanted to, like, sleight of hand, you know, hide something up my sleeves that I could pull out later. That's what that was all about. So, okay, so this has now been turned inside out so you can see exactly what it looks like on the inside. And so you can see all that. Here's these straps. And see there, it's almost like a little pencil case, but it's for LARP daggers all inside here. How to explain that? So usually what I do is I attach this to the sleeve lining before I construct the coat lining. It's long on the sides. I wanted it to be drapey and flowy, but I didn't want to be tripping over the hem all the time. So I made it short in the front and the back, so I wouldn't be tripping as I walked or walked backwards or whatever. So that's why that's like that. And because it's a LARP costume, I decided I wasn't going to close up the bottom of the coat. Usually what you do is you would end up hemming this like here. And I didn't do that. And I don't do that because I knew that as a LARP coat, this thing would see a lot of action and I want to repair it all the time. So I wanted to be able to have constant access to the coat to repair it without having to constantly seam rip the bottom all the time. And that's how I make these coats. And if you ever make a coat like this or have made a coat, I would love to see them. Just tag me. And if you don't know already, there is a crafty group on Facebook that is part of this little community. It is full of people who LARP and craft, and it's still called Thrift Store LARPer Crafter's Corner because that's the focus over there, and I don't plan to change that. And I want to thank all my Ko-fi and Patreon supporters for making this channel happen, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure.